When Robert was 9 years old, he and his childhood friend Mike were not invited to a classmate's beach house because they were considered poor kids. When Robert got home, he asked his father how to become rich, and the only answer he received was that he needed to study hard and earn more money. Even at that young age, Robert realized that this advice would not help him build wealth. Robert's father, whom he later referred to as his poor dad, was a teacher who earned a decent salary but constantly struggled with money. Seeing how determined Robert and Mike were to learn how to make money, his father suggested they speak with Mike's dad, whom Robert would later call his rich dad. Both boys were surprised, because Mike's father was not actually rich at the time. He had never finished 8th grade, yet he owned and managed several successful businesses. Still, they went to meet him. On the day of the meeting, Mike's father asked them if they were truly ready to learn how money works. They eagerly nodded. He then made them an offer. He said he would teach them about money, but not in a classroom setting. He would only teach them if they worked for him. If they only wanted to sit and listen like in school, he said he would be wasting his time. Robert wanted to ask a question, but he wasn't given the chance. Mike's father told them that if they couldn't make firm decisions, they would never learn how to succeed financially. Opportunities appear and disappear quickly, and the ability to make fast decisions is an essential skill. Knowing they had to decide, Robert and Mike looked at each other and agreed to accept the offer. Mike's father smiled and told them he would pay them 10 cents per hour, working 3 hours every Saturday. Even though Robert had a softball game that day, he chose to work instead. He knew this was an opportunity he could not afford to waste. They began working for Mrs. Martin, an employee who managed a small grocery store owned by Mike's father. The store sold basic necessities like milk, bread, butter, and cigarettes. Since there was no air conditioning, the doors remained open, allowing dust from passing cars to blow inside constantly. Their job was simple but tedious. They had to remove canned goods from the shelves, dust them off, and stack them neatly again. The work was incredibly boring. After 3 hours of labor, they earned only 30 cents, which felt disappointing since comic books cost 10 cents each at the time. They kept working because they wanted to learn, but after 3 weeks, Robert was frustrated and ready to quit. He felt like he was being exploited, earning almost nothing, and he hadn't even seen Mike's father since the first meeting. During lunch in the 4th week, Robert told Mike he was done. School was already boring enough, and he didn't want to waste his Saturdays anymore. To his surprise, Mike smiled and said his father expected this reaction. He had told Mike to bring Robert to see him once Robert was ready to quit. This made Robert angry, but Mike explained that his father taught differently. He didn't lecture, he taught through experience. Robert agreed to meet Mike's father the following Saturday. Even Robert's real father was upset and advised him to demand a raise of at least 25 cents per hour or quit immediately. When Robert arrived, he was made to wait 45 minutes before Mike's father finally appeared, looking tired and irritated. Robert confronted him, accusing him of breaking his promise to teach them. He called him greedy and disrespectful to his workers. Mike's father calmly asked whether teaching meant talking or lecturing. He explained that life itself is the greatest teacher, and most of the time, life doesn't explain things, it pushes you. Some people let life push them while others fight the wrong things, like their job or boss. Only a few people accept life's pressure as a lesson. He explained that he had over 150 employees, yet none had asked him to teach them about money. They only wanted paychecks. When Mike told him they truly wanted to learn, he designed a real-life program to teach them. When asked what he had learned from earning such low pay, Robert complained about greed and unfairness. Mike's father explained that most people would simply quit and look for a higher-paying job, but that wouldn't solve the real problem. Expecting more money to fix everything is not the answer. The real solution is learning how to make money work for you. Robert slowly began to understand. When asked if he still wanted to learn, he said yes. Mike's father then told him he would no longer be paid at all. Confused, Robert agreed anyway. They worked for free for 3 weeks. Eventually, Mike's father took them out for ice cream and asked what they had learned. They admitted they hadn't figured it out yet. He told them to observe Mrs. Martin and the people in the park and ask themselves if that life looked exciting. He offered raises, 25 cents, $1, then $2 per hour. Each time Robert felt tempted but resisted. Finally, he offered $5 per hour. Suddenly, the temptation disappeared. Mike's father explained that most people are controlled by fear and greed, trapped in what he called the rat race. He taught them that wealth begins with controlling emotions and thinking logically. Over time, the boys learned to spot opportunities others missed. Soon they created a comic book rental library that earned them thousands of dollars, even when they weren't present. They had learned their first lesson: the rich do not work for money. From there, Mike's father taught them financial literacy, assets versus liabilities, cash flow, building asset columns, managing expenses, understanding taxes, corporations, investing, creating money through ideas, learning valuable skills, overcoming fear, cynicism, laziness, and bad habits. Each lesson reinforced the same truth: financial freedom comes from thinking differently, not working harder. This is the end of today's video. If you want more summaries like this, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment below which lesson impacted you the most.